Okay, I've got the back on, all the lights installed. Now it's time to work on the doors. And the first thing I need to do is have a template that shows me the curve, the angle of the, these styles here, and then I can go and lay out what the actual pieces of the door will look like. So to get these angles right, what I've done is I've gone ahead and taped up a piece of cardboard template here, and I've cut it a little bit smaller than the size of the opening. And I laid it in place, and the first thing I did was I took a straight edge and held it up against the side of the style here and drew a line on the cardboard and then cut along that line, and that gave me the first angle. The second angle, I'm going to do the same way. I'm going to lay this in here, get my cardboard nice and flush, and then take a straight edge and lay it on here. Get it nice against the side of the, nice and flush. Draw that line. Then I'll go ahead and I'll cut along that line. I'll then cut a piece of cardboard strip the same width as this ruler and just tape it on there, and that should give me a perfect fit. So let's just see how that works. Alright, I've gone ahead and cut the angle there. I've made my strip. Now let's just see how everything fits. There we go. Nice. Now all I got to do is tape this strip to the basic form here, okay, and then just trace that curve on the bottom, and then I'll flip it over and I'll inset that curve just slightly, maybe I don't know, 1/16 of an inch max, just a little bit, just so the door's set back just a slight amount from the apron and this shelf piece, and then I think I'll be ready. Okay, now I have a good fitting template in here. I can go ahead and draw where the doors will be, what they'll look like, and then be able to use that to make further templates to actually cut the parts. Now I'm working on the doors, and the curved doors, there's going to be 4 panes of glass total. One here, one here, one here, and one here, and they go the entire way up. So there'll simply be rails on each side, stiles top and bottom, and a center muntin piece. All of them rabbited 1/4 inch for the glass to fit in. That's 1/4 inch deep. So the real challenge was to get the curve right, to get the mortises properly positioned along with the mortise for the muntin, and to get these planes where the glass sits, to get them positioned correctly. That's probably easier said than done. So what I did was I took advantage of CNC again for this. I simply took my template and picked off some points to make the curve in the Vectic Aspire software. And once I had that curve made, I was able to position boxes tangent to the curve that would represent where I need to do a pocket cut for the mortises to go all the way down. Same thing on this end, same thing for this center, and I was also able to draw straight lines between the ends of the mortise there to be able to represent where this glass fits, and then cut this rabbet, which I said is 1/4 inch deep. So what's also nice is now all I have to do is take that set of vectors on the file and mirror them, and I've got my top already done. Simply save those tool paths, go on over to the ShopBot and cut them. Now I'll have to designed this other side separately because this curve is different. And again, that's what makes this piece a little bit difficult, is we don't have a uniform curve. It's a varying curve. As a matter of fact, I made a a mock-up piece with a scrap of wood, and I held it up here, and I discovered a couple places where I can slightly adjust the curve in the software to get a little more accuracy. And then, of course, final fitting will be done with conventional tools. So I think that's just a great application of CNC. Could this be done without? Sure, I've done curved doors without, but I don't think I've ever done curved doors where I have such a changing curve the entire way, and had the challenge of figuring out how to do the mortises at the end. So this kind of really solved that problem eloquently. Well, the ShopBot did a nice job on making these rails, but since the bit is round in the ShopBot, the mortises all have rounded corners. So I'm chiseling them out to make them square. Of course, you always have the choice of either rounding the tenons or squaring the mortises, but for the through mortise and tenons on the corners of the door, square is better. So I've already squared those mortises, and now I'm just taking care of the small mortise here for the muntin to fit into. Just using a 1/4 inch chisel and just clean up those corners. Well, I've got all these door pieces cut out. Got the curved piece with its mortise for the muntin and top and bottom, and then these vertical parts on the door rabbeted properly, and then the muntin itself. And I had to do a little bit of, I'll get this a little closer, a little chisel work, a little work on the table saw to get this tenon made properly because it's stepped. And then I custom fit each of the tenons for its respective slot. So the idea is that they go in like that, get glued into place, and the glass then can fit in this rabbeted section back here. And then all I have to make then is the keepers, the keeper strips that'll screw in and keep the glass in place. So next step, I'm going to go ahead and clean all these up, relieve the edges, get them nice and smooth and so forth, and then put on some shellac polish finish on all those inaccessible corners. And then I'll do the glue up, and after the glue up, we'll go ahead and trim these exactly to size, cut the mortises for the L-shaped hinges, and complete the finishing. And then the only thing left on these pieces will be the knobs for the doors and the timbre doors. And I always like to wait till the end to do those so I really get a good feel for the piece. Well, I've got finish on all the parts for the doors. In fact, I've already glued up one of the doors. Turned out pretty nice. So let's go ahead and glue up that second door. Using a little Type Bond 3 with a brush so I can get in there and get the mortises real good. Okay, now let's go ahead and take care of the tenons. Okay, now I check the diagonals to make sure that I've got this right. So this inside diagonal showing about 25 and 5/16 roughly. This one's showing about 25 1/4, so I'm a little bit off on the diagonals. I need to pull these two corners together just a little. Let's do a little of that, and then let's go ahead and pull the sides in good. Make sure they're nice and tight in there. Check the gaps on the mortises. Make sure everything's pulled together tight. All right. Go and check our diagonals again. Again, this is how we're going to make sure the door is square. Okay, I'm showing a little bit under 25 and 5/16. And I'm showing just about the same on this one. So we're good on the diagonals. By the way, this little thing is kind of neat. It fits onto your tape measure with a magnet, and it's good for getting an inside measurement or an outside measurement. Can't remember where I got it from, but it comes in handy for these kind of glue ups. Okay, now it's time to clamp down on the actual corners themselves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to release these clamps nice and evenly so we maintain squareness. And then I'm just going to take these clamps and clamp the faces.